All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to Willow Legal Group's Coffee Chat. Today we are joined by Gemma Cawley. Gemma is the founder of New Parent Harmony, which is a Maryland-based practice supporting families through the early months of parenthood, maybe the hardest months of parenthood. As a certified postpartum doula, lactation counselor, and pediatric sleep consultant with over 20 years of experience, she helps parents feel confident, cared for, and better rested. Better rested. As a mom herself, Gemma understands the ups and downs of those very first months and brings both expertise and warmth to every family she works with. So welcome, Gemma. We're excited to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I wish I would have known you 5 to 7 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
I get that so
years
ago. I really do. And I think that's the hardest part of my job sometimes is reaching those first-time parents because, you know, there's a lot of focus on birth and not necessarily the postpartum period. So yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah, I bet. So when we talk about postpartum, is there like a ideal like time frame or right? So I was thinking like the first 12 weeks, but what if anywhere
really, depending on your emotions, but generally the first 12 months. Okay. So postpartum can be, and the families that I work with can be 12 months, even beyond. It depends how you're doing. If you're struggling with depression and it's postpartum, guess what? You're still in the postpartum period. Mm-hmm. And that can continue on as long as it needs to until you're feeling like, okay, I'm out of the postpartum period. But generally speaking, all the way up to 12 months.
Okay. Nice. I would have loved a sleep consultant or someone.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
That's part of the reason I got into the business in the first place is because I just did not have that support. I had my parents over for a couple of weeks, but, you know, aside from them wanting to hold the baby all the time, there wasn't really that kind of support. Yeah. So, yeah.
The number of nights I spent sitting in front of my son's room with a laptop and a glass of wine, just close, like while he was settling, right? So he knew I was there, but I didn't have the time to sit, right? Like I had work to do, and it was, you know, a long day. So, yeah.
And there's some parents that really are like all about being with their kids 24/7. Like they're glued to their kids. They're Velcro babies, right? There are many moms and dads that are that way, and I was never one of them. And the vast majority of us who are busy lifestyles do not have that time and commitment and for their own sanity. And I say this to some parents who feel like the mom guilt that they need to be with their baby all the time. You don't. It's not good for your mental health. You do need some time to yourself too. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Showers are good.
Yes. It's something I actually instill first thing. I'm like, have you taken a shower today? Well, can you take it for me if you're not going to take it for yourself?
I'm not saying that you smell, but maybe shower would feel really good.
Right. Exactly.
So when you're working with new parents, what do they most often overlook when they're planning for a new baby?
When they're planning for a new baby, just in general, most parents know that they're going to be sleep deprived, right? They're going to be sleep deprived. And there's the whole lactation. If you're choosing to breastfeed, that is a big, big thing. So those are kind of the things that we fixate on, right? The sleep and the breastfeeding. But aside from that, it's kind of like, there's kind of a romance to it, right? The postpartum, we're going to have this new baby. It's going to be wonderful. What they don't account for is that big shift in hormones, right? You give birth, you delivered a 6 to 12 pound baby, right? That's a lot of hormones that are coming and shifting in a big space of time. So there's no preparation for that. The what to expect when you're expecting book, it can give you some clues, but it's not really going to depict how you feel, how your emotions are, and that those emotions are okay, right? That you can be okay feeling these emotions, and it's quite acceptable to feel that way. So yeah, it's a lot. So they overlook the emotional side of things. In general, especially first-time parents, it's the focus on the birth and not necessarily postpartum period altogether. So they'll have their birth doula, they'll talk to a lactation counselor, but not necessarily have a postpartum doula to help them. They're like, oh, my mother-in-law's coming to stay, or, you know, my mum's going to come and stay, or I've got friends to come and help and things like that. And it's not quite the same. So those are a couple of things to think of off the top, but there's a few things that get overlooked for sure.
So what exactly does a postpartum doula do?
Okay, good question. There are postpartum doulas that focus primarily on mom and baby. So making sure they're watching baby while mommy recovers, gets that shower. There's also an element of support. This is across the board with all postpartum doulas, is there's a support of the family network. So making sure the family are able to talk about their birthing experience and go through those emotions. That helps me determine if there's any depression or anything, and allows families to talk about the experience without being judged. Okay. And then aside from just the basic care for mom and baby, there may be things like laundry taken care of, meal preparation, making sure siblings are taken care of, or any pets in the house. You know, every family is different. Some families like to focus just on mom and baby. Some like just, Gemma, make the laundry go away. And, you know, some days that's what I do. I make the laundry go away. But every family is different, and every postpartum doula is different. Not every postpartum doula will do laundry or cooking or cleaning. Some may only prepare bottles or baby's laundry. I try to do whatever is needed, except from like moving furniture and deep cleaning and things like that. That's outside my scope, right? But wherever I can help a family feel like they're being nurtured, cared for, so that they can recover and bond as a family, and me just take away the equations that interfere with that. That's where I find my passion. And that's what I tried to do.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely didn't know that was a thing when I had my kids.
Yeah, even with my own kids, I didn't know it was an actual thing. Because before I started with New Parent Harmony, I'd worked in social services for several years with families, but there was still, in England, there was never anything like that. It was only after going through it myself, I was like, oh, I want to help people. And then suddenly this word came up, postpartum doula. I was like, ooh, that sounds fancy. So yeah, it never used to be a thing. I think it's become popularized because there's a need for it.
Oh, absolutely.
So in talking about planning ahead, or folks that want to think about having a postpartum doula, how do they plan for that? How early should a family start? When should they start? How do they kind of do that to take the stress away? So once the baby's here, things flow.
I think you'll find the same with what you do. The earlier, the better, right? The earlier you can plan, the better it's going to be. But I get a vast array of families coming in. Sometimes they're 2-month mark. They've done that first scan. Right. Okay. We got to book a postpartum doula. This is especially case with second and third and fourth time babies, not necessarily first. First time babies tend to be a lot later on, closer to birth. But generally the earlier, the better. But I've taken clients after babies arrived and like, okay, yeah, we need the help, which is great that they're able to identify that they need the help. So being able to prepare earlier allows me to do what I do best, which is communicate in the run up to birth, so that there's a lot more comfort, there's a lot more ease with the postpartum period, so that they can focus on the things that are important, which is their family and a safe delivery.
Cool. Yeah. So tell us, what does a strong foundation of support look like for families, both day to day and in those unexpected times? Yeah.
So in years past, it was the village, right? You had a village. They all took care of you. And we try to recreate it as best we can. But let's face it, especially in the county that we're in, everybody's busy. Everybody has to work. And it's tough. So trying to have those support networks, and it may be through your family, if you're lucky enough to have them close by. It may be through friends, or there are support networks, nonprofit charities that can help. Having the help of a therapist on hand, have their number on the fridge ready to go if you need it. Same with your lactation counselor and your postpartum doula, obviously. But just having those ideas ready to go. And it could even be the support system of having like your meal plan, whether it's HelloFresh or whatever meal service that you have, or having all the takeout deliveries ready on the fridge to go. Just having everything prepared in the prenatal period is going to be more beneficial to you, because let's face it, in the postpartum period, you're going to be tired. And that's where people forget my name in the postpartum period. When they're in the thick of it, that's where they forget my name. And if my name's on the fridge, they can go to it and, or okay, I can't be bothered cooking, I need to go and get the Chinese, whatever. So having that support network. And then there's the mom groups, of course, right? You've got all the mom groups and we have plenty of them in our area. I will say on mom groups, be careful. Take the advice as a pinch of salt. Sometimes everybody suddenly becomes a doctor on these things. So, but when it comes to like emotional support and things like that, those kind of places are good to be able to get some advice from parents too.
Yeah, or even just have a place to let it out, right? And say to a group of moms, this is the situation, and have other women say, oh yeah, I know that, right? Because sometimes your husband or partner doesn't quite understand, and rightfully so, right? They different experience, as you mentioned earlier, right? All the hormones and all of those changes, and it's hard to explain that to someone else.
So New Parent Harmony, I did set up a coffee morning that we do regularly, and sometimes it's the same moms, sometimes it's not, but having just that little community, especially when you don't particularly know them so well, it's nice. So you're sharing experiences, and quite often in our conversations we'll be, oh, I've got this going on with my kid at school, blah blah blah, and somebody say, oh, I went through this is what we did, it worked for us, or this did not work. So having those kind of meetups is really valuable to have that kind of community.
And then I'm guessing that the dads are involved in this too, right? In the 2-parent households.
In the coffee mornings, or
just the doula services or the family.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that it's not all mom. There's a lot of focus on dad too, because dads are tired too. I mean, in some families, the dad is the person who's staying up all night with the baby while mom gets the rest and stuff. So yeah, it's a full support. The dog, the kids, the husband.
Just wanted to clarify, Yeah.
Oh, no. It's a whole family dynamic. And even that goes down to going back to, I know I talk about laundry a lot, but it does come up quite a lot in households. When it comes to laundry, I'm doing the entire household laundry. There's no point in me doing one set of laundry and leaving the rest for somebody else to do. That's just pointless.
No, you're right. I remember that was one of the things I wasn't prepared for after I had my first one, was how much laundry there was. Babies poop on everything. You got to clean everything all the time.
Yeah. And second time and third time, they're like, oh yeah, I remember all the laundry. But then when it actually happens, like, I didn't realize how much laundry though, right? And then when it's second and third, there's definitely a lot more laundry.
Yeah.
So I think you talked about this a little bit, but what inspired you to focus on this area specifically? I know you said you wanted to help people, but why
postpartum? Okay, so when I first moved over here, romantic story, I followed my boyfriend over here. We got married, and then we had kids. Like I said, I did not have the support that I ideally wanted. Breastfeeding was not successful for me, which is also why I wanted to get into the whole lactation and figure out where I went wrong. It was just a tough time. It was a really, really tough time. And I'd already worked, like I said, in social services with families. So I wanted to expand that and further that a little bit more. And when I first came over, I was nannying with a family with a newborn. So I kind of got thrown in that experience. And he's like 22 now. And I'm like, oh. So after the birth of my first, I really wanted to kind of help other families so they wouldn't have to go through what I went through. Now, thankfully, I wasn't full-blown postpartum depression, but there was a lot of loneliness there. a heck of a lot of loneliness and a heck of a lot of mom guilt. Because let's face it, there is the mom guilt that comes with having a baby. We're supposed to, it's the most natural thing in the world, they tell you. We should be able to do this. This is what we were born to do, kind of thing. And what comes with that is a lot of there is the guilt that you should be able to do it on your own, that you shouldn't need to seek help. And I wanted to kind of get rid of that notion that you can ask for help and you should be able to have help, whether that's from your family or from a doula. So I started reaching out, figuring out how I could go about doing that. So I went and got certified first with the postpartum doula and then the lactation counselor, and then I had my second child. And then that's when I decided and needed the sleep consulting added to that, because my first slept through the night at 2 months, my second 16 months. So did everything the same the second time round, just a very, very different baby.
I can relate.
Yeah. So yeah, just growing strength from there. I just love being able to help people, seeing them transition from those beginning days, which can be, like I said, very emotional, to being, hey, Gemma, I've got this. We don't need you anymore. I'm like, great, I've done my job, and sometimes that can take a few weeks, sometimes it can take months.
Cool. And I'm guessing the sleep consultant, you work with probably older kids too, not just the littles.
Absolutely. Yeah. Generally for sleep training, when it's in the postpartum period, when I'm working with clients postpartum, it's not necessarily sleep training in its traditional sense. It's more creating good habits, right? Yeah. To sleep. So not nursing to sleep, not driving around the block for hours with a baby in a car seat trying to get them to sleep, and not constantly needing to rock to sleep all through the night. Just creating some good habits. Sleep training generally only from 4 months on, once baby's circadian rhythm is fully developed and they're kind of ready for it. And they'll give you telltale signs to say when they're ready for it. And then I work all the way up to 5, 6. Most of my clients are the 2, 3-year-olds. They've transitioned from a crib, they're in a bed, they're able to talk, and it's a whole different dynamic of sleep training at that.
I'll have to talk at some point about how to get my kid to stay in bed in the morning.
Oh, yeah, that's the hardest one. Believe it or not, the morning wake-ups is the hardest one to conquer. The overnights tend to be the easier one, then naps, and then that early morning wake-up, that's the doozy.
We're getting better, but yeah. Conversation for another day.
So what's one piece of advice that you wish more people understood when it comes to postpartum doulas?
Okay, that's a really good question. I think the conception that, and the thing that I hear quite a bit is a postpartum doula is a nanny. Mm-hmm. And it definitely is not. There is a lot of background knowledge that's needed to be known about the emotions and what happens to a woman's body and how to care for it. We're not medically trained, so that's completely off the cards for medical. Anything that comes up medically, if I identify it, say if I'm identifying depression, or if it's thrush or anything, mastitis or anything like that, I'm going to say, I think possibly you should go and see your practitioner and get this checked out. There are a few signals here and there. So not medically trained, but nor am I just babysitting children. There's a lot more in-depth aspects that go into doula care. So that's one thing that is very, very different for sure.
Yes, definitely. All right. So one question that we ask everyone, what is one item that you can't live without in your day-to-day life?
Ooh, it's going to sound really lame, but probably my chapstick.
That's a good one, actually.
It's in my back pocket. Yeah.
Mine's probably in my pocket, but it's in my desk drawer.
I know that sounds really, really lame, but that's probably one thing. Maybe it's a habitual thing that I got a chapstick, but yeah. That and my kids, but I say that today.
They're not really items, though.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Probably with chapstick, which is really lame.
Okay, next time you see us, we have Willow Legal Group chapstick. Make sure you get one.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, and we'll put links to reach Gemma in the comments if you are looking for someone. Can we put the coffee group?
Yeah, absolutely. Moco Java Mums.
Yeah, so we'll put that in there too if you want to get coffee and talk about mom things, or just get coffee and hang out with some cool moms.
Or even our mom dance group too.
Oh yeah, we'll get all that info from
the
them.
moms.
Yes, for sure.
So awesome. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Great to see you guys.